Katie from Gift of Curiosity, and I want to welcome you to the second of 3 videos that are all on the topic of teaching the alphabet. So let me first start by saying thank you to everyone who commented or emailed me with a question after my first video where I was talking about how I got involved with this topic of teaching the alphabet and how I use this knowledge to plan a playful, fun, multisensory, and developmentally appropriate letter learning program for my daughter that was very successful for her. So today I'm going to shift gears a little bit and talk about why teaching the alphabet is so important for children, as well as explaining how it is that teaching the alphabet supports children's reading development. So let me first start by saying that I am an academic researcher by training. Back in 2013, I completed my PhD in child development from Stanford University, and my dissertation research looked at the relationship between family and community language and literacy practices and children's language and literacy development over time. So given my research background, I always want to know what the research says about how children learn, but I am coming to this topic with a practical background as well, not only as a homeschooling parent to my 2 children who are currently in the process of learning to read, but also in my professional experience where earlier in my career I spent 7 years both developing as well as implementing literacy programs for both preschoolers as well as for first, second, and third graders. So having said all that, today I really want to hone in on a few of the key research findings about the importance of teaching the alphabet to children. Back in 1967, 2 researchers named Guy Bond and Robert Dykstra published a very important study exploring student characteristics associated with reading achievement. Now, their analysis showed that a student's ability to recognize letters of the alphabet at the beginning of the year was the single strongest predictor of that student's reading achievement at the end of the year. Okay. Now, more recent research has confirmed the finding that a child's letter naming knowledge is a stronger predictor of reading achievement than any other pre-reading skill, including phonics knowledge. So the takeaway message from this is very clear. A child who can name letters of the alphabet prior to beginning formal reading instruction will be much more successful in learning to read the alphabet than a child who cannot name the letters of the alphabet. Research suggests that there are at least 3 ways that letter naming knowledge supports the development of reading skills. So the first is that when children can rapidly name letters, this means that they don't have to spend that much cognitive energy identifying letters in text. Instead, they can dedicate their cognitive resources to other tasks of reading, such as sounding out words and comprehending the text that they're reading. So a second way in which letter naming knowledge supports reading skills is that many letter names actually give children a clue about the sounds that the letter makes. For example, the letter S has the S sound at the end of its name, and the letter T has the T sound at the beginning of its name. And a third way that knowing letter names supports reading knowledge or reading development is that knowing the names gives children a common language for discussing letters. So this is really important because one letter can make multiple sounds. For example, the A says A and A. And the same sound can be made by multiple letters. For example, the J sound can be made by both the letter J and the letter G. Further, having a common name for the letters helps children also associate the fact that a capital A and a lowercase a, for example, both represent the same letter. So research suggests that for a child to, quote, know the alphabet, they must have acquired skills and knowledge in 4 separate areas. So the first of these areas is letter shapes, and this requires children to key in on visual features of the letter, such as its shape, its orientation, and its directionality. A second area, or second piece of knowledge, I guess, that children need to acquire is that of letter names. This requires children to understand that letters are symbols, these symbols have their own names, and that these names apply to both uppercase letter symbols as well as lowercase letter symbols. A third area of alphabet knowledge is that of letter sounds. And here we're talking about children understanding that these letter symbols represent sounds, and they do so both alone and in combination with other letters, such as the digraphs like SH, TH, CH, etc. And a fourth area of letter knowledge is that of the ability to write letters. And this requires that children not only have an understanding of the letter shape, but that the child also has sufficient visual memory as well as fine motor skills to be able to reproduce that letter in written form. So I hope overall that this video has given you a better understanding of why teaching the alphabet is so important for children and how it is that children's letter knowledge supports the development of their reading skills over time. In my next video, I'm going to be providing some practical tips for providing your child with a fun and developmentally appropriate program for learning the alphabet, and I'll also be addressing a few common questions and misconceptions about teaching the alphabet. So until next time, keep having fun and keep learning.